Yes. Are we on? Is it true? Was it me? I don't know. This seems right. This is fantastic. Here we are. February 18th, 2019 for the Daily Candle Close. This is fantastic, being able to come out here on a Monday in America. President's Day for those national holiday type jobs who have off. Good for you. No traditional market today, but we do always have crypto, and that's fantastic. So we tried to, of course, do a few things to try to make the stream a little smoother. Doesn't really seem to be working out all that well. But, you know, we do what we can when we can. Anyway, for those who could not play the market earlier, wow. What a day, huh? What a day. This over here is the 15-minute chart. The hourly starts where you see the candle block here, or that daily. Did I say that? The daily. So anyway, this would represent 1 day of trading, and you could see what a day it has been. Pretty good. So if you were on the long side, you had significant gains today, and what it seems like, we'll measure that out in just a minute. But really, not a bad day. Now, sideways on the 5, you can see that we hit a, well, no, we hit higher than that. Sorry about that. We hit 39.19. That was the high move. 39.19. We came down, settled out around this yellow line. I believe that's 382 from another setup. I'll have to take a look at that in a minute. And since then, we retraced a little bit, which is totally normal. Everybody's cool with that, I would imagine. Volume has died off, all right, during the pullback. Some buying has come in just to not allow it go any lower. We're receiving a little bit of support on the holes. So overall, not bad. Healthy retrace is okay if it's going to be something of continuation. Now this is my Gartley chart. This is something we've been looking at since the 618 was pulled here back in December. Of course, not much to look at except that it was a nice retracement. Pulled back up, and once we got around the 886 zone, that's when the pattern was drawn to try to find the D target, right? And the D target ended up, what we were originally looking for was 3361. What we settled at was, what did we settle at here? The low, 3370. All right, just for pattern completion in there. From there, targets are the from the A to D, 382618, full one retrace, 127, and if we're so lucky, 1-4 and a 1-6. So pretty good. Largest candle we've had in a while so far. Now it's not over yet. We have 2 more minutes, and there is selling going on right now in the current 1-minute chart. So far, I don't want to give these numbers out just yet, but so far we're up 6.7%. So it's a $243 day. Really not bad. This ended up being a nice rounding bottom, just in between. You know, this obviously this would need to be at the bottom of an actual trend, and that is not this. But it did end up rounding out pretty nicely over the last few days. So on the daily, pretty good. Now we're 1 minute away from the daily chart, so let's pull up the 1 minute, the 5 minute, and the 15 minute. Let's see what's happening right now. Just sideways, you know, little ping pong around the price levels here. Looks like point of control is at 38.68 just for this range. The larger time frame is showing 38.63, and 36.97 all the way down on the 15 chart. So a lot to soak in there. We are, what are we at here? A couple seconds, I would imagine. I don't know where my countdown went. There it is. 20 seconds away. 20 seconds away, sports fans, and we'll paint the candle for the 18th, and then we'll go over a few numbers. And I want to take a look at some other charts because things did move today, and I want to know all about them. So maybe we should all know all about them. There it is. Okay, the daily has finally been painted. Let's see if there's any action on the 1 minute chart immediately following. Sometimes we get a little bit of volatility. Either heavy buying or heavy selling comes in right on those first, 5 to 7 minutes. The only thing that's coming in right now is selling and back to buying. So a little tug of war. So we're not going to waste any time on that. All right. So on the daily, let's get the final numbers here. Final numbers are: we opened 36.23. We hit a high of 39.19. We hit a low of 36.15, so only a few dollars lower from open. We ended up closing at 38.67 and 50 cents. So total change plus $244 or plus 6.73%. Now again, these aren't the amazing up 20, 25, 30% that we're seeing on some alts, but this is, relatively speaking, a sizable candle given the time period, right? So outside of the other very large candle we had back on the 8th, we haven't seen a bullish candle like this since January 6th. And since then, we have seen one very large, bearish candle of the $379 portion, and another significant one of 146, and I guess we could count this guy here too, but I'm not really counting. I'm looking at that. These are big candles. That stands out, that stands out, that stands out, that stands out. And then we get into all that junk over there. But this is good. This is good. If we see a retracement here, I would not be surprised. I understand this is the daily chart, but let's just get an idea. If we were to do something like this and say we come back to the 382, 37.72, I think that's fair for another move up. Okay, for another move up, but we have to watch price action, see what we're looking at, and all that good stuff. Now, on the other players of the day, well, that's the weekly chart, so don't worry about that. Litecoin on the daily, they had a pretty good day here. Let's see, overall up almost 9%. All right, so 389 to the stack. Open at 43, closed at 47. So that's a good day for them over there. XLM on the daily, what did it do? Plus 4%, 4.4%. Yeah, I don't want to read all of those numbers out. So yeah, you're just up. Okay, up is good. And Ethereum just doesn't want to stop. So Ethereum went up 9.2% for gains of $12.28 based on the U.S. chart. So opened at 132, closed at 144. Another really good day for Ethereum. So Ethereum really coming back from since February 8th. Had a nice large move up, 14%, $14. Opened at 103, closed at 117, and sort of went sideways but up, and then sideways but down. So not much gained and not much loss. And then 2 days back to back of good buying. Volumes up both ways. So volume up, price up. Generally, did I say that right? That's continuation. All right, so what moved? What moved? Let's say what moved today. So let's D1. Let me just refresh this. Oh, let me do that again. So it actually, there we go. Make sure the fingers work. Ricky Thompson. It has to start somewhere. Reasonable price action. Finally, Ricky, what's going on, buddy? How you doing today? Hopefully you were on the upside on a couple trades, that would be ideal. Let's see. All right, so peak gains. Let's see. We're just going 24 hours. So the candle just closed. Let's just say 24 hours. What did we look at here? All right, so mod BTC, we talked about that the other day. 88% up so far, is giving back 46% of that, so that's a healthy retracement. If we hit the 5 or the 618, depending on how the chart looks. Now, trend-wise, not exactly in your favor to stay in these trades all too long. The 12 and the daily are still in a downtrend. You're only slightly bullish, sideways with a bullish tone on the 5, 15, and 30. So it does look like buying is coming in, but still not able to convert the 1, the 4, to 6 hour. They're sideways and bearish. The ETH pairing is even worse, but gains can be made. Obviously, 24-hour gain, 84%, and 50% of that taken back. Sub moved 44%, retraced 24 so far. Again, this is brutal here, but this is nice. So the 5-minute is now in an uptrend, a clear uptrend, not sideways with a bullish tone. It is an uptrend, and that's very good to see. All right, so that might be something we might want to take a look at. We'll see. There's a lot of reaction with the Binance delisting. Of course, you know, they were going to take a huge hit just based off of that news from the day, but it doesn't mean they're not traded elsewhere, and because of that, that's great opportunity to buy. So you get all that information, you put the price as low as possible, or at least as low as people are willing to sell it for, and then you get a onslaught of new buyers that want to come in at the bargain basement level prices. So what do we have? ARK. ARK is up 37.63% with a retrace of 52. Now, ARK's been moving, and we've been watching it. Let's pull that up. Let's see, what's the better chart here, or better trend? Certainly more volume being traded, 6,663 Bitcoins versus 2187. So ARK on the Ethereum pair does have more volume. Let's pull that up. ARK ETH. ARK ETH. All right. ARK ETH. I'm on the daily right now, so let's just get an overall, just a quick glance on what's happening here. I must have marked up the BTC one. Let me just pull that up for a second. ARK BTC. I just want to see if, yeah, all right, that's definitely the one I was marking up. That's fine. We're going to go ARK ETH because I said ARK ETH, and that's what we're going to do. All right, so clear uptrend on the daily. Very nice to see. Certainly levels of interest in this ballpark here. So let's just get a bit of an average, you know, something that's visually correct. I'll actually go up a little bit on this. All right, so nice tap down, stop out, right? So that's good. I like to see that type of reaction. That makes me feel better about that type of horizontal support resistance. All right, so on the daily, good right here. It looks like we did sort of hit that zone. Certainly put some type of trend going on in this ballpark. Do something similar to this. And it looks like definitely we had some resistance here. Pretty good levels, actually. Fairly well respected. We could see all of this. Of course, you know, you bought it, but you came up, shot over, flipped it, found support, came back up, dropped down, broke through. So I'm okay with this. I'm okay with that. I might even pull it up a little bit for these to, if they seem to make more sense or they've historically worked in the past, then that's what I like to do. So I like to just throw it up real quick, you know, just very obvious levels of support and resistance, and then fine tune it based off of previous price action that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, I'm taking it off, you know what I mean? So let's say the overall big picture, right? Just the big picture, what's been going on over here since January 2nd. What are we looking at as far as levels are concerned, right? We have a bit of a top for now. Of course, that's a large spike. And a decent spike on the way down. All right, so price came up, right? Did its big move. Retraced down to the 7.0. Not bad. Not bad. So we would expect with support found here, buying came in. That's what gave us our high. And since then has retraced down to the 50. Now, if we zoom in on just that particular move, we would do something like this and say, okay, for this 4-day period, well, 3, because we only got a couple minutes on this camera. So for this 72-hour period, we're looking at coming up, you know, a significant amount. Let's measure this out real quick. What do we got? 80%. You kidding me? So up 80%, retraced all the way down. This is brutal. This is beyond the 886. So somewhere between the 886 and the 1. Let's just, for the sake of it, we'll call it 90%. So tapped all the way down to 90%, which is one of our horizontal support resistance levels, which is good. Pushed itself all the way back up, and now it's riding the 7.0. So this is a deep retracement. 7.0 is deep. Not too deep for crypto, but it's deep. Even finding support at 886 we've seen in some coins in the past. So it's not out of the realm of, what do I want to say here? Not out of the realm of what? Possibilities? Maybe I'm saying it all wrong. Yeah, I probably am. But anyway, it's still worth it to take a look at it for possible longs, entries, basically in the ballpark you're at now, for continuation. Now I had my RSI on here. Let's scope that out real quick, and it looks like, well, it came close. You know, lower high, so that's never. It's not ideal. So we got lower high on the RSI. And we got a higher high on price. Higher high on price. Yeah, definitely a higher high. So that's bearish divergence. So to play from one to the next, then you got your bearish move here. So that's okay. It's already been played. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows are good on that. That's cool. Nothing too dramatic here. We do see the deep cutout here, and that's nice. That gave people a good opportunity to get in. Didn't do much for them over here, but it did paint itself another trend, so that's cool. We could do this actually and look for areas of support when we get closer, as the RSI gets closer. All right, so we could just leave that on here and revisit it at another time. But overall, not a bad play. So if you were in that play, congratulations. It's not over yet. At least it doesn't look like it. Arc Eat. So Wings, that's such a strange project. Wings up 30, down 63. So you blew past the 618. Next target would be 786, unless it's just dancing around the 618 and is looking for current support. But again, much like these coins, you know, 5 million market cap, that's rough. It's hard to get things going over here. You don't want to be on the wrong side of those trades. Cloak again. So I mean, we're looking. You know, it moved. We're looking at all the Binance D lists, right? Cloak. Wings, I believe, was out of there. I'm not so sure about ARC, but Sub, Mod, right? These were all Binance D-list coins, okay? Clearly, people want to trade them, and people are, on the long side, are doing well, very well. Okay, EOS. We've been talking about EOS. We sure have. EOS, 25 up, down only 2.3%, so still moving well on the Bitcoin pairing. what are we at here? 18% up, only down 1.6. So not much of a retracement there, but we could pull up EOS. I think we had it. Where do we have it? No, we don't. Interesting. All right, let's pull it up. Let's take a look at the tether pair first. All right, so on the tether side of things, RSI on the daily is well over 70. We're sitting around the 78 zone. Previous levels, we still got some distance to go, but I would put a level in this ballpark right here, and that would be 443, currently at 362. We do have an uptrend here, so that's good, and something that we wanted to see. So we could take this. That is the wrong one. Let's take the one that I like to use. There we go, something like this. All right. Now, if you're asking why I'm not being super crazy on trend lines, this is just a very quick, while I'm streaming, I'm just throwing it up real quick. I'll go back and tighten everything up, but streaming, you can see there's a lot of lag, so I don't want to fuss around too much. I just want to throw it up and just get a quick idea, sort of like lightning speed TA, just what's shaking, what's happening. When things are different, I could spend more time on those, but if you're wondering, that is what's going on. All right, so we can actually I'm going to do something like this. I might be pulling in a bit of a channel here. More so of a wedge than a channel. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so tether side. Rise and wedge. Looking okay, right? One touch, two touch. One touch, two touch. Now, of course, like I said, they're going to be off and it's going to be a little ugly, but just bear with me, and we're all gonna get through this just fine. Okay, something like that. Okay, anyway, yes, rising wedge, good. Breakout from the rising wedge is nice. All right, we like to see that, especially after this catastrophic fall. 1 sec. Okay, had to clean that up a little bit. Okay, so. Coming in on the breakout, this would be retest area here. Let's pull up the 1 hour chart. Let's take a closer look at how we got to where we are. I don't know, my mic sounds totally different. That's crazy. Saints. Just FOMO market by EOS. Will I get wrecked? Saint, for the love of all, you just FOMO'd into this? Will you get wrecked? Well, let's put it this way. You're in an uptrend. I'm assuming you bought and went long, so at least you bought with the trend. All right. What are we looking at? Well, we're currently looking at a breakout of a rising wedge. All right, which is nice. Now this will date back to December 7th, so a fairly decent sized pattern. Overall, strike rate is, good. So rising wedge, continuation to the upside. That's what we would want to see on the current. We were just looking at the hourly because I want to see if we're getting near a retest, which is where you might get a little hurt. So you could see breaking out of the pattern, right from there. Looks like we tried to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we did like an ascending triangle. So basically off the bottom of the pattern, right, you did this and this. All right, so that's kind of like your ascending triangle. So it's not a bull flag. Bull flag would be, parallel channels down to the downside and then up again. And it's not a pennant because a pennant would be more like a symmetrical triangle, similar to, oh, well, that didn't work out. So similar to that. Of course, that would need to be straightened. So something like that. All right, and then the rise up would be the pole. Let me pull What pairing did he do, Saint? Not that it really matters. RSI looks overbought on all time frames. Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look. So we'll pull the RSI scanner up. Let's go to overbought. You said, yeah, we just saw that on the daily for sure. Let's check the other time frames. Give this a second to load. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, Ricky, you ain't joking, man. So from the 5 to the daily, every time frame is overbought. Into the 80s, 83, 83 on the 5 and the 15. 30s in the 80s, hourly in the 80s, 4 80s. Yeah, that's brutal. So when you see this, Saint, because you're the one who FOMO'd it, when you see something like this, Saint, this is when you have to be cautious of people trying to, they're eyeing this up, right? And when you see that it's overbought, they have the idea that they might be going short. Coming up 20% in 3 days, only coming down 3% does give the indication that, hey, wait a minute, we haven't really had a good pullback yet. So this would be your indicator saying, hey, we might be getting into pullback area. Now, we have also seen RSIs that, much like this, on the 1 hour time frame, right, just sit and overbought for, days, periods upon periods upon periods. So if we look back at history, we get an idea, is this one of those types of coins? We'll pull the daily up and we'll see now. So now this is the tether pairing. So do something with a little bit more history. What's going on here? What is this? No. E. There we go. EOS, BTC. Okay. Now we got a little bit more history. So we could see here, right? Overbought that whole line. Now it did push back down. It didn't consistently stay there. So history-wise for that, not great. This was 23 to 29, 6 days. It stayed in overbought, and that was let's see, that was back in April, so not exactly a bull run. Let's close this. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, I believe I already played with this chart. Okay, so April, or March, April in this ballpark. So from this run up here, if you could see that, if my mouse would behave. So this run up here, we were overbought the whole time. All right. You can see right, well, that does not look correct. Yeah, man, the days are just so small. All right, so right here we went overbought, and we stayed in it until right here, and this is when we crossed out. So that would be your idea or a thought to exit that actual trade. All right, well, let's take a look at current on the BTC pair since we have this chart up, and we've obviously already played with it for quite some time. So this was the original look, which is what got my attention the first time through. And these were two fairly sizable moves, about 10%, with a healthy retrace after this big, long downturn. So that was nice. There was no plays to be made, not for me. Went sideways, so not much happened. We made a little bit of an ascending triangle, and then we broke it. And when we broke it, this got everybody's attention. So 14%, 6%, 4%, whatever this is, 1 or 2%. So 25-something% move up was nice. All right, so from there, we unfortunately went sideways, and this is another look. Of course, the pattern is going to be a little bit different because it's a different chart, so a different pairing. So, the prices don't totally match up so well. But this was the preceding price action before this breakout. So this painted, it's we could pull this down a little, something closer to that, and then this would just come over here. Okay, so something similar to that. It's not perfect, but it gets the idea across. All right, So this is an ascending triangle. So with an ascending triangle, let's straighten that out. I know I said I'll just leave it, and then I just keep messing with it. My bad. All right. So with an ascending triangle, you are looking for a continuation to the upside, which is what we got here. And this is what I'm talking about with the current look that we're looking at. That's the retest. So you can see we broke it. We came back down. We tested it. We pushed for another high, and we tested it again. That second test isn't necessarily necessary, but the first test is what we like to see. We like to see that retest. That shows that we've properly broken out of that channel and have since flipped what used to be resistance and turned it into support. So from there, we moved up again, another good move up, but this move, not so good overall. That retrace is close to 100%. So now we're looking at this big move here, 13%, and currently, and this candle is only 25 minutes old, is already up just about 4%. You can see the old levels here of an old 236, which is where it currently got stopped out at. So to answer your question, you know, we're in the trend. So you're within the trend. If you can digest a healthy pullback and have a proper stop loss, then I think you'll be okay with continuation of trend. But I would imagine short-term selling will be coming in soon, especially with all the RSIs on all time frames. Now we can withstand that for a while, but we have to take into consideration people might be wanting to take profits, especially at something like these levels here, which they didn't yet, which is surprising. I guess they pulled out a little bit, but not too much. So we go with previous price action, we would have levels like this, and this would give you an idea of where people might be pulling profits from. We'll use that one right there, the top of those bodies, and that matches the top of that wick, which also matches the bottom, which is a nice pivot reversal. Okay, so that's why that horizontal is on my chart, and it does look like it was respected on the current day of trading. All right, so pretty good overall. I do like what I see. There were moves to be made if you weren't here in the very beginning. We did talk about Bitcoin, of course, making its moves today. Ethereum, last few days, good moves. Litecoin made a few good moves earlier in the day, so pulling in 9%. And XLM, even though everyone said it was just a nosedive, is doing well. All right, so that'll wrap it up for right now. I'm going to try to come back on later. If everything pans out, then I will definitely be back on at some point later tonight. So you'll get the notification, or however that works. All right, until then, hope to see you on the exchanges, and happy trading. Happy trading.